All right, this will finish off the last section of chapter 12 for the final exam review. The first one we're going to do is figure out the mean, which remember is x bar. And so we are simply going to add all of these data points up and divide by the number of data points that we have. And so when I do that, I add those total numbers up, and I'm going to divide by 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That's the page number. And so when I do that for number 124, you should get the number 54.0. So just to be clear, when I'm adding these up, and I'm going to go ahead and do that on my calculator, and just make sure that everybody gets the right number on the top. Plus 64, 77, plus 20, plus 70, plus 81, plus 14. And so I got 486. And if I divide that by 9, I come out to be 54 exactly. And so we don't have to put the 0.0. They do put the 0.0 in your answer, but 54 is completely acceptable. Now with the median, remember that your data has to be in order. And so this data is already listed in order, which is nice. So I'm going to do this method. I'm going to cross off a high and a low, cross off a high and a low, and I've got 2 points left in the middle. So I am going to have to take 237 plus 288, hit my equal button, and then divide it by 2, because I'm going to take the average of the middle 2 points. So when I add those two together, I get 525. And when I divide that by 2, I get 262.5. And they say round to the nearest tenth. Well, they don't say for this one, but we're just going to say round. If it comes out to 1 to 2 decimal places, we just leave it with that answer. And that's because we have 2, 4, 6 pieces of data. In the next one, I'm going to cross off a low and a high, a low and a high, a low and a high, and what's left, the median, is the exact middle, which is 26. Okay, remember the mode is the number or numbers that appear the most. So 82 appears twice and 50 appears twice. So this one is bimodal, and you would just list them in any order separated by commas. Okay. The mid-range is going to be the low plus the high divided by 2. So the low number is 33. The high number, the low number is 19. The low number is 19. And the high number is 122. And when I add those up, 19 plus 122, I get 141. And when I divide 141 by 2, I get 70.5. Okay, the range is the high number minus the low number. And so 16 minus 2 gives me a range of 14. Now, for standard deviation, and this is a lot of information, guys, here for this one, so I'm going to take it kind of slow, but we first have to list all of our data points. So I'm going to make a table here, and I'm going to list them in the order that they're given. And this is actually a lot of data points. I usually don't give you this many, but this is the one that I happen to pick out. All right, so once I list all those data points, then I am going to add up this column. Well, first I have to count. Let's see how many data points I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my N is 9. So now I'm going to add up these numbers in this column. Square my box off a little bit here. All right, so I'm a little cockeyed, but that'll work. All right, so let's add them up. 10 plus 17 plus 19 plus 17 plus 11 plus 8 plus 5 plus 14 plus 16. All right, so I get 117, which I'm then going to divide by 9, and that gives me 13. So now the next column is going to be my data points minus my mean. Okay, so I'm going to take 10 minus 13 and get negative 3. And then I'm going to square it and put it in this column. So that becomes positive 9. 17 minus 13 is 4, and 4 squared is 16. 19 minus 13 is 6, and 6 squared is 36. 17 minus 13 is 4. 4 squared is 16. 11 minus 13 is negative 2, and negative 2 squared is positive 4. 8 minus 13 is negative 5, and negative 5 squared is 25. 5 minus 13 is negative 8, and negative 8 squared is 64. 14 minus 13 is 1, and 1 squared is 1. And 16 minus 13 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. So now that I have that last column, and remember this last column should be all positive numbers, now I'm going to add this group up. Boy, my boxes are a little wonky tonight. Okay, so I'm going to now add 9 plus 16 plus 36 plus 16 plus 4 plus 25 plus 64 plus 1 plus 9. And that gives me 180. So the sum of the deviation squared is 180. And now we're going to find the variance by taking 180 and dividing it by 1 less than the number of items that I have. And so when I take 180 and divide it by 8, because remember I have 9 data points, I get 22.5. And last but not least, I am going to take the square root of 22.5, and that's going to give me my standard deviation. Let me check that again. 180 divided by 8. Let's see what they do. I think they're dividing it by... They got 5.1. That's not what I got. 22.5, the square root of 22.5 I got is 4.74. And so I'm going to go with that data point. I'm not sure how they got 5.1 as their correct answer, but as long as you can show me your answers and your steps on how you did it, then hopefully, we should come up with the same answer. So that finishes up your final exam review sheet.